I don't know about you, but trauma sucks. In a moment, we're going to be sitting down with Emily Van Horn, who's a specialist in somatic trauma resolution. And she's going to help me get rid of some of the trauma just of life. Oh, let's go on in.
It's a healing modality that's a gentle, non-invasive way for people to heal from all types of trauma. Trauma is not so much about what happened, but it's how it affected the nervous system. So something that could be traumatizing for one person might be empowering for somebody else. People come and see me for all kinds of categories of trauma, whether it's because they've had an accident or an injury, whether they've had some abuse or some violence in childhood, or breaking patterns. A lot of times people will come because they've noticed a recurring pattern in their life and they haven't been able to resolve it. People will do things to compensate for trauma, like they'll maybe exercise a lot, or they'll do a lot of yoga, or they'll be a workaholic, or maybe they'll be a substance abuser or whatever, because they're trying to manage that high activation that's in their body. And once you can discharge that and let it come out of the nervous system in a gentle, safe way, then the person doesn't have to keep doing all those managing behaviors. The first thing I like to do before I even go into story is I like to find what resources somebody. That's key. You need to find out what somebody does in their life that gives them joy, that gives them pleasure. And sometimes it might be hard. If someone's in a trauma vortex, they might think everything's crap. But really, there's always something that you can go back to. A lot of times when I'll ask people to notice a sensation, they will talk about a feeling, like I feel sad or I feel overwhelmed. A sensation will be, I feel tingling in my feet. I feel tightness in my chest. And so as you start to follow that, you're engaging the hindbrain, which is allowing, that's the oldest part of the brain, and that's where all our fight, flight, freeze responses are stored. And that's where you want to get out of the analytical brain and you want to get into the hindbrain, because that's where the discharge will happen. And the second thing would be, I like to work with boundaries, because usually people that have experienced trauma have had some kind of boundary rupture.
Absolutely.
Yes, so I'll do some actual physical exercises that will allow for the body to start to know that it's okay to make a boundary. It's okay to push. It's okay to say no. Then we can start to go into story.
Okay, so can we go do it?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
When you were 17, you had a major bike accident. And I'm just wondering if we could just take a piece of that where you still feel like maybe there's some charge.
I was coming home on my bike after one of my first professional gigs as a dancer, singer type of thing. And I had to come home after this because, and I was the youngest member, and my parents were like, you have to come home, you can't come out. You can't go out with everybody in the cast. And like a good kid, I obeyed, and that's when the accident happened. So I was actually angry when I was in the accident.
Right. Okay.
If I think about the accident, and that was a loss of a whole life, basically, to me.
There's a lot attached to that.
There's a lot attached to that. It was my career, it was my life, it was my voice, it was how I existed in the world, that I was going to be a dancer. And that I was a dancer. And having that stolen from me, if I still think about it, I still feel a little sad.
Right.
The one time I actually, I'm getting a little choked up. The one time I actually felt attractive was when I danced.
Wow.
And that's kind of, that's bringing up a lot of...
Yeah, it's a complex issue. Can you just right now just remember a time when you were dancing and you were just totally in the flow and you knew who you were? Yeah. And just notice how that feels.
Well,
take your time. And just notice how that feels in your body.
it hurts.
Where?
It's all here.
Okay.
It's all my voice. Okay. It's funny, it doesn't hurt where the accident was, you know, where I shattered my knees or my vertebrae, or it hurts in my voice.
Right. If you could do something different, maybe if you could have gone out.
Yeah, I would have gone out with them. That's the thing.
With the other dancers.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you just take a moment and just imagine that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That would have been really fun.
Okay, and just see yourself in that situation, and as you're doing that, just be aware of any sensations that are happening.
I felt happy in my heart.
Yeah.
Like my heart just kind of...
something
That would
comes
have been
up
really
and-
fun. Yeah, like open.
So just being with that,
Yeah.
just being curious, and just see what happens next.
I still have a feeling of being angry with my parents.
Right, but that's a little different than what it was a moment ago.
Absolutely.
It's different than the sadness.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As an adult looking back, you know, my parents, they were just being good parents.
Right.
You know, I'm 17 years old. I'm not supposed to go out to a party with 20 somethings. Honestly, you know, I get that as an adult. But
Right.
I was a good kid who never did anything wrong, never got in trouble, never drank, never did drugs, never did anything like that. And I didn't feel trusted.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay.
I just said that.
Okay.
I felt that. I
So-
didn't feel trusted.
So how would it be if your parents would have trusted you?
My eyes just got watery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. That's hitting a big issue. I'm actually really feeling that.
And
Huh.
just being with whatever's coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh.
What are you noticing now?
That's a pattern. That's a life pattern.
Wow.
Just the trust thing. I would never have expected that to be tied in with a physical accident. Never would have expected that. That's completely from the blue.
Yeah, that's
Never
and
would have
that
expected
happens in almost every session.
It's kind of funny. Like in friendships or relationships or whatever, I want to know that I'm trusted. And that I'm trusted to go and do whatever I want to do. And knowing that I would never do
The naughty thing.
the naughty thing. But only if I'm trusted.
Right, right.
Yeah, because I've gone and done the naughty thing because I know I've not been trusted.
Right.
Thank you so much. This was awesome. Really, really, really appreciate this.
Oh.
And thank you for tuning in to CreateYourHealth.com. Take what you like, leave the rest, and create your health. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.
Seriously.
My
Wow.
pleasure.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Create Your Health. Be sure to go to our website where you can watch another episode, check out a practitioner, read a blog, or go shopping. Take what you like, leave the rest, and createyourhealth.com.